Hello friends, welcome to the world of project management and for a overview session on project stakeholder management process, that is identify stakeholders. Motto of this training is to share my experience in preparing for PMP certification and have prepared few slides. Let's quickly move to our agenda for this session that we are going to discuss on what is identify stakeholder process and its ITTOs in more detail, that is inputs, tools and techniques and outputs. Let me start. It is the first process in the project stakeholder management, and it is defined as identify stakeholders is the process of identifying the project stakeholders regularly and analyzing and documenting the relevant information regarding their interest, involvement, interdependencies, influence, and potential impact on project success. The main key benefit of this process is that it enables the project team to identify the appropriate focus for engagement of each stakeholder or group of stakeholders. This is about the definition and the key benefit of this process. Hope you understood this. Let's move to the ITTOs of this process. And inputs we have the project charter, the business documents, which contains the business case and the benefits management plan, and we have the project management plan which contains the communication management plan, stakeholder engagement plan, and also we have the project documents which contains the change log, issue log, requirements documentation, and also in the inputs we have agreements, EEFs and OPAs, that is enterprise environmental factors, organizational process assets. Coming to tools and techniques, we have expert judgment, data gathering techniques, which contains the questionnaires and surveys and brainstorming, and we have the data analysis technique, which contains the stakeholder analysis and document analysis techniques, and we have data representation technique, which contains the stakeholder mapping or representation, and we have the meetings. And coming to the outputs, we have stakeholder registered, change request, we have the project management plan updates, which contains the requirements management plan, communication management plan, risk management plan, and stakeholder engagement plan. And also in the inputs, we have the project document updates, which contains the assumption log, issue log, and risk register. Okay, fine. Let's discuss first with inputs in more detail, starting with the project charter. As I said in my previous sessions, the project charter identifies the key stakeholders list. It may also contain information about the responsibilities of all the stakeholders. Hope you understood this. Moving to the next input, we have business documents, which contains the business case and the benefits management plan. Let me explain about these two documents first with business case. The business case identifies the project objectives and identifies an initial list of stakeholders affected by the project. Moving to benefits management plan. This benefits management plan describes the expected plan for realizing the benefits claimed in the business case. Hope you understood. And it also may identify the individuals and groups that will benefit from the delivery of the outcomes of the project and are thus considered as stakeholders. Okay. Hope you understood about this business documents. Let's move to the next input. We have project management plan, which contains the communication management plan and the stakeholder engagement plan. Let me explain one by one. First, with communication management plan. In this, the communications and the stakeholder engagement are strongly linked, and the information included in this communication management plan is a source of knowledge about the project stakeholders. This is about the communication management plan. Moving to the stakeholder engagement plan. The stakeholder engagement plan identifies the management strategies and actions required to effectively engage the stakeholders. Okay, hope you understood about this project management plan input. Moving to the next input, project documents, which contains the change log, issue log, and the requirements documentation. Let me explain one by one. First with change log. The input the change log may introduce a new stakeholder or the change the nature of an existing stakeholder relationship to the project. Moving to issue log. This issue log records the issues that may introduce new stakeholders to the project or change the type of participation of existing stakeholders. Moving to requirements documentation. This requirement documentation provides full information on all the potential stakeholders. Okay, hope you understood about the project documents. Let's move to the agreements. What is the agreement? The parties of an agreement are the project stakeholders. Project stakeholders are the parties on both the sides, and the agreement can contain references to additional stakeholders. Hope you understood with respect to the stakeholder management what are agreements. Let's move to the next input. We have EFs, that is enterprise environmental factors, which can include the organizational culture, the political climate, and the governance framework. And it can include the government or industry standards, and it can include the global, regional, or local trends and practices or habits, and it can include the geographic distribution of facilities and resources. This is about the EFs. Moving to the next input, we have OPAs, that is organizational process assets, which can includes the stakeholder register templates and instructions. It can include the stakeholder registers from the previous successful projects, or it can include the lessons learned repository with the information about the preferences, actions, and involvement of the stakeholders. Fine. Hope you understood about all the inputs of the identify stakeholder process. Let's move to its tools and techniques. In tools and techniques, we will first start with the first technique, expert judgment. As I said, expertise should be considered here from individuals or groups with some specialized knowledge or trainings in few of the areas, such as understanding the politics and power structures in the organization, and having the knowledge of the environment and culture of the organization and other affected organizations, including the customers and the wider environment, and having the knowledge of the industry or type of project deliverables, and having the knowledge of individual team member contributions and expertise. Okay, this is all about the expert judgment technique. Moving to the next technique, we have data gathering technique, which contains the questionnaires and surveys and the brainstorming. Let me explain one by one. First, with questionnaires and surveys. These questionnaires and surveys can include one reviews, focus group sessions, or other mass information collection techniques. Moving to the brainstorming. The brainstormings are used to identify the stakeholders, can include both brainstorming and brainwriting. We'll talk about what is brainstorming and brainwriting. First, with brainstorming, a general data gathering technique and a creativity technique that elicits inputs from groups such as team members or subject matter experts. Coming to brainwriting, a refinement of brainstorming that allows the individual participants time to consider the questions individually before the group creativity session is held. And in this brainwriting, the information can be gathered in face-to-face groups or using virtual environments supported by some technologies. This is about the brainwriting. So you hope you understood about the brainstorming and the brainwriting. Fine. Hope you understood about this data gathering technique. Let's move to the next technique. We have data analysis technique, which contains the stakeholder analysis and the document analysis. Let me explain one by one. First, with stakeholder analysis. This stakeholder analysis results in a list of stakeholders and with some relevant information such as their positions in the organizations, roles and responsibilities on the project, our stakes, our expectations, attitudes, or with their interest on the collected information about the project. As I said, stakeholders' stakes can include interest, rights, ownership, knowledge, and contribution. Let me explain about all these things: the interest, rights, ownership, knowledge, and contribution, what the stakeholders takes. First, with interest. A person or group can be affected by a decision related to the project or its outcomes. This is about the interest of that stakeholder. Coming to the rights, that is legal or moral rights. Legal rights, such as the occupational health and safety, that may be defined in the legislation framework of a country, and the moral rights that may involve the concepts of protection of historical sites or environmental sustainability. Hope you understood about these rights. Moving to the ownership. A person or group has a legal title to an asset or a property. This is the ownership. Moving to the knowledge. A specialized knowledge which can benefit the project through more effectively delivery of the project objectives, organizational outcomes, or the knowledge of the power structures of the organization. This is about the knowledge. Moving to the last, contribution. In the contribution, the provision of funds or other resources, including the human resources, are providing support for the project in more intangible ways. Hope you understood about this data analysis technique and what the stakeholder stakes, that the interest, rights, ownership, knowledge, and contribution. Let's move to the next technique. We have document analysis. In the document analysis, assessing the available project documentation and the lessons learned from the previous projects to identify the stakeholders and other supporting information. This is about the document analysis. Hope you understood about this technique. Let's move to the next technique. We have data representation technique, which contains the stakeholder mapping or representation. The stakeholder mapping and representation is a method of categorizing the stakeholders using various methods. The categorizing the stakeholders assists the team in building the relationships with the identified project stakeholders. The mostly commonly methods includes the power or interest grid, power or influence grid, impact or influence grid, stakeholder cube, salience model, that is includes the power, urgency, and legitimacy, and the directions of influence, that includes the upward, downward, outward, or sideward, and the prioritization. Let me explain one by one the various methods. First, with power or interest grid, power or influence grid, impact or influence grid. Each of these techniques supports a group of stakeholders according to their level of authority, that is power, and also the level of concern about the project outcomes, that is interest, and also ability to influence the outcomes of the project, that is influence, and the last, the ability to cause the changes to the project planning or execution. This is all about the power or interest or power or influence or impact or influence grid. Let's move to the stakeholder cube. What is stakeholder cube here? This model combines the grid elements into a three-dimensional model that can be useful to the project managers and the teams also in identifying and engaging their stakeholder community. This is stakeholder cube. Moving to salience model, which includes power, urgency, and a legitimacy. This model describes the classes of stakeholders based on the assessments of their power, that is, level of authority or ability to influence the outcomes of the project. Along with this power, it also includes the urgency, that is, it needs an immediate attention, either time constraint or relating to the stakeholders' high stake or in the outcome. And also, it includes the legitimacy, that with their involvement is appropriate or not. So this is about the power, urgency, and legitimacy. Hope you understood about the salience model. Moving to the directions of influence, that contains the upward, downward, outward, and sideward. Mainly this classifies the stakeholders according to their influence on the work of the project, such as upward, downward, outward, sideward. First is upward. It mainly deals with the senior management of the performing organizations, our customer organization, our sponsor, and the steering committee. Coming to downwards, it mainly considers the team or the specialist contributing the knowledge or skills in a temporary capacity. Moving to outward, it mainly deals with the stakeholder groups and their representatives outside the project team, such as suppliers, government departments, the public, and the end users. And coming to the last, sidewards, it mainly considers the peers of the project manager, such as the other project managers or the middle managers who share their resources. Hope you understood these directions of influence also. Coming to the last data representation technique, we have prioritization. The prioritization of the stakeholders may be necessary for the projects with large number of stakeholders, where the membership of the stakeholders community is changing frequently, or when the relationships between the stakeholders and the project team are within the stakeholder community are very complex. So this has to be considered. That is, prioritization has to be considered. Okay, hope you understood about this technique, the data analysis technique. Let's move to the next technique. We have meetings. In this process, the meetings are used to develop an understanding of significant project stakeholders. They can take form of facilitation workshops, small group guided discussions, or virtual groups using some electronic or social media technologies to share their knowledge and analyze the data. This is all about the meetings. Okay, so hope you understood about all the tools and techniques of the identify stakeholders. Let's move to its outputs. In outputs, first we have the stakeholder register. The main output of identify stakeholder process is the stakeholder register. This document contains the information about the identified stakeholders that includes the identification information, assessment information, and the stakeholder classification. Let me explain. First, with identification information, that includes the organizational position, location, and contact details and role on the project. Coming to assessment information, that includes the major requirements, expectations, potential for influencing the project outcomes, and the phase of the project lifecycle where the stakeholders has most influence or impact. Coming to the stakeholder classification, that includes the internal and external, impact or influence or power and interest, or upward, onward, outside, outward or sideward, or any other classification model chosen by the project manager. This is about the stakeholder classification. Okay, hope you now understood the first output of the identify stakeholder process, that is stakeholder registered. Let's move to the next output, change request. During the first iteration of identifying the stakeholders, there will not be any change request. As when the stakeholder identification continues throughout the project, new stakeholders or new information about the stakeholders may result in a change request to the product or to the project management plan or the project document. So that has to be go through this PICC process, as I said, perform integrated change control process. Okay, hope you understood about this output, that is change request. Let's move to the next output, project management plan, which contains the requirements management plan, communication management plan, risk management plan, and the stakeholder engagement plan. First, with the requirements management plan. In this output, newly identified stakeholders can impact how the requirements activities will be planned, tracked, and reported. Coming to communication management plan. In this output, the stakeholder communication requirements and the agreed upon communication strategies are recorded in the communication management plan. Coming to risk management plan. In this risk management plan, where stakeholders' communication requirements and agreed upon communication strategies affect the approach to managing the risk on the project, that is reflected in the risk management plan. Coming to stakeholder engagement plan. In these, the agreed upon communication strategies for identifying the stakeholders are recorded in this stakeholder engagement plan. Okay, hope you understood about this output. Let's move to the next output. We have project document updates, which contains assumption log, issue log, and risk registered. Let me explain one by one. First, with assumption log. In this output, much of the information about the relative power, interest, and engagement of the stakeholders is based on mainly assumptions. This all information is entered into the assumption logs. Moving to issue log. In this output, new issues raised as a result of this process are recorded in the issue log. Coming to risk registered. In this output, the new risk identified during this process are recorded in the risk registered and managed using some risk management processes. Okay, hope you understood about this project document output also. Here we have completed all the outputs of identify stakeholders process. Fine, so we have completed all the ITTOs, that is inputs, tools and techniques and outputs of this process. Before closing this session, let's highlight some few key points of this process that we have to make note that the criticality to identify the stakeholders early in the project, and we need to make and analyze their levels of interest, expectations, importance and influence. And when there is large number of stakeholders, we need to classify them in order to focus the relationships necessary to get the success of the project. And last, we need to document all the stakeholders data in the stakeholder registry and update this frequently throughout the project. So these 4 points to be noted when we are considering this identification of the stakeholders. Okay, this completes our first process session on the project stakeholder management knowledge area, and hope this session is easy and understandable. Fine, let's discuss more detail on the next process in the project stakeholder management, that is planned stakeholder management, in the next video. Kindly provide your feedback on the given email ID below and subscribe my channel if you like this video and share with your friends. Bye for now, it's your Anil Kumar Dharam.